good morning, or good afternoon, or evening, or whenever you're listening to this. Hope y'all are doing all right. Welcome back to the Note to Self podcast. This is what, episode 5 now?
Yes.
Yeah, episode 5. Reaching almost the end for this semester. But before we go on, so we're continuing with our episode. Before we go on to continue with our episode, we do want to introduce that we do have a new member with us in the podcast. Keona, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Keona. I'm a sociology major, and yeah.
How fun. What made you want to join the podcast?
I guess put me on the spot like that.
I'm sorry.
Because I don't know. I guess to challenge myself, because I'm not really a talkative person, but I don't know. I just wanted to give my insight on the different topics.
And we always value as many perspectives and insights as we can. And we're glad you're on the team. One of the best investors we got. Yeah.
All right. And our check-in for this week is what is everyone's plans for winter break?
Sleep. Sleep and rot.
Yeah.
Sorry. In terms of actual plans though, I do know probably gonna be going up to Berkeley a little bit just to help a couple of my friends just unpack and just move back into their homes from the semester, or I guess that half of the year ending. And then after that, I think I'm just staying more locally this year. Usually my family and I, we would go to Tahoe, or we would go somewhere up more north. But I think we're just going to stay more close to home and just chill here, sleep. Yeah.
Alright, I think for myself, I don't have any grandiose plans or trips or anything like that, but I think probably just a lot of house cleaning in case that our family does decide to invite some relatives or friends over for dinner or something over the holidays. Gonna get that house spotless, I guess. Maybe decorate my room a little after I get it cleaned up, and then...
Oh my gosh, I gotta clean my room. You guys, it's so bad.
Post-finals, we get to actually cleaning up and tidying all the areas that we haven't in a while, I guess. And I guess just cook more, enjoy food, live healthy.
For me, because I have a sister in Irvine, so she'll be back in town. So I guess I probably just take her out and then just be able to bond with her. But other than that, my family doesn't really do much for break. I just take that time to just rest after finals and just clean my room. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
For me, I'm probably just gonna be at home or just working, and I'm also gonna do my first photo shoot for my birthday, so that's what I'm gonna do.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you have an idea of how you want to do it?
Yeah, it's gonna be black and white, and it's gonna be very elegant and classy, because that's what I was going for. Turning 20, so
That sounds really exciting.
yeah.
I can't wait to see how the pictures will come out.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Elegant and classy is your...
Yes.
That's this is you, girl. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think for myself, it's kind of a little bit of what everyone has said. Definitely cleaning my room, sleeping, just trying to enjoy myself, especially after finals. And then I know that my friends and I might want to go to Tahoe. We did that over the summer and it was pretty fun, but I've been to the snow once, but I've been wanting to go back, even though my dad says why there's nothing special about it, but I just want to experience it for the one time. But we'll see where that goes.
I just realized I forgot who mentioned food. Guys, I'm gonna be eating so much during Christmas and New Year's, and it's dude, it's gonna be crazy. And then I'm probably also gonna end up thrifting a lot too. I need to increase my wardrobe game. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I don't know. I guess, guys, for the people who might plan to do like a cyber session, like
Good luck.
Good
Best of
luck.
luck.
I might be
Good
a
luck.
part of that population taking cyber session
Me
classes.
too.
But you know, best of luck to all of us if we do decide to go down that route. And I hope you guys take good care of yourself while you're like taking classes and enjoying your break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Practice self-care.
Yes.
And all right, I guess this week's topic is anxiety, and anxiety.
Very fitting for what's upcoming, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'd say anxiety ties in very well with testing madness, and I guess just everything that's been going on lately. I think a lot of people are worried about like their futures, be it like with transfer apps, be it with their next big test. There's a lot of things that people worry about or get stressed out over, and which is why I wanted to address the topic anxiety. And real quick, we'll just establish a definition for anxiety when we talk about it today, and that is that anxiety is an emotion tied to the fears or worries about things that are unknown, are not yet within our control. And oftentimes we get anxious over things that we're sensitive towards, be it like social situations or like things that we care about, like your results on an exam, for example. And it can really it can also manifest like physically as tension, or for example high blood pressure, or like I guess like just like really heightened senses as well for some people who might get really stressed and enter like a fight or flight state when they're like under high stress and anxiety in certain social situations as well.
Before we go add on and go on with that, I do want to say this is sourced from the National Institute of Mental Health. So yeah, everything that we're about to say, we cite our sources.
Yes.
Yeah, that could include things like genetic and environmental factors. Again, this is from the National Institute of Mental Health. Those are things that maybe can be like passed on from genes, from your family, or it could also just be a result of your factor. Maybe you grew up in an environment that was really toxic, or you just had to be aware and just, watching out for yourself or others at all times. That can lead to the overall development of an anxiety disorder. Some symptoms that we like to highlight are, it can manifest in feelings or restlessness, or you just have this restless like type of energy around you. You can be constantly on the edge. You feel like someone's out to get you. A lot of difficulty concentrating, or sometimes even being easily irritable. And that doesn't mean just like, oh, this person's like annoying me, but maybe your eyes start watering and you want to rub them, or you start like fidgeting, or even start scratching your skin. Maybe unexplained muscle spasms, stomach spasms, or even like upset stomachs, or even headaches as well. And even just the difficulty of falling asleep due to these feelings just culminating, and just feeling like I can't rest because I don't, I feel restless. I feel safe, not safe, or kind of insecure in this environment that I'm in.
These are some risk factors that come along with anxiety. So that contributes to development of anxiety that are common are childhood trauma of being shy or nervous in new situations, expectations placed on individuals, pressures to succeed, as well as social situations, like for like public speaking, for example, and examples of stressors that responsibilities can cause anxiety. So, I guess like if you tend to be on like the shy side or the nervous side, that can be like signs of anxiety, like you're afraid to like talk to people, or you just have like anxiety just like meeting new people or talking to new people as well. And also like public speaking as well, that can also play a part in anxiety.
And also like another cause of like anxiety can be like expectations placed on individuals, like from family or like pressures you put on yourself and like standards and everything like that. Like socially, like public speaking, and I guess like what came to mind was like peer pressure, I guess. Yeah, and then responsibilities that like maybe from like family members that can cause anxiety.
Yeah. Well, thanks for those definitions, guys. That's already a lot to unpack just for those definitions and the symptoms. So, kind of just want to open this space. Like, what's one of the first things that came to everyone's minds when it came to anxiety, or whether that be like symptoms or cause factors or anything related to that?
I know for myself, it was definitely school.
Yeah.
I know right now we're probably going through finals and stuff like that. I mean, at the time of this recording, I'm going through like midterms and tests and all that stuff. So it's kind of like me just being anxious with the fact like, am I gonna pass? Am I gonna fail? Like, I need this class to like transfer or, stuff like that. So I just get anxious about the outcome of the future, which I know like deep down I probably shouldn't, and I should just be like, okay, I got this. But we're humans, so we're not always gonna think positive. But yeah, that would be one of my like stressors.
Did you can talk.
Okay. Yeah, so kind of what Diana said, like, I have a lot of anxiety right now, too, like, just stressing about, like, am I gonna fail this class, or am I gonna pass this class, like, I need this class, so, yeah, I've been also having a lot of anxiety lately, but some things that I kind of do to, like, help with that, I just kind of think of, like, the positive things and, like, the positive outcomes to, like, kind of ease my nerves a bit, and also, like, taking my mind off school and stuff, hanging out with friends and stuff. So, yeah.
Also, like, adding on, like, stress about, like, failing a class. Like, I'm in the process of, like, transferring for, like, UCs.
Oof,
and I was, yeah, I was, like, stressed about, like, I had to drop 2 classes, and it was just, like, I was hard on myself and, like, my transcript and everything, but like the way like I'm seeing it is just like I'm focusing on the future and like yes, like I had to drop it, but like yeah, setting that boundary for myself and like knowing that I can like retake it and it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think another like I'm sorry guys. Yeah. Yeah. Like tailing away from like I guess like school, like I like have a lot of social anxiety, and like I guess why I'm like right now I'm struggling to like talk is just like I struggle with like the way people perceive me, but like I'm working on myself and like being more confident and like just accepting myself, and yeah.
Which I applaud you for.
Yes. It is very difficult.
Yeah.
I know as a kid, when I was growing up, I for sure was very much on the shy and timid side. Is, oh my gosh, don't even start on even trying to like ask my friends for a pencil sharpener or a little eraser, because sometimes it is a lot, and again that's just a result of it could be again genetics, or at least I grew up in a household where it very much was just like a lot of yelling and a lot of shouting, and it's like very loud. So kind of being in a different environment where I wasn't used to people actually like yelling or just being loud all the time, and then just someone be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like even then, that was just like, how do I respond to that instead of going ah? But again, we applaud you, Keona.
Yes.
I guess for myself, I think Anya talked about it earlier too, like looking towards the future. Like I think for myself, I've developed a better relationship with like my anxiety, because I think growing up I used to be like really outgoing, but like I've transitioned into being more of like an ambivert, just because I think when I was younger I didn't care about social like how I was socially perceived as much.
Would you mind just defining what an ambivert is, just in case some people don't know?
Yeah, of course. So an ambivert is someone who is like kind of in between an introvert and an extrovert, Because I'd say on certain days I am very full of energy and I love social situations. Like if I'm in that mode, social situations are great. But if I'm feeling like really drained, or like I want my like own personal space, I'm just gonna like go into my own bubble and take more time for myself. So that's why I think I'm closer to an ambivert. And also I think every time I take like those personality tests, I'm like really in between, but more on the extroverted side, because I get like results back like 55%, or like it's like really in the middle. And depending on how I answer that day or how I'm feeling that day, I'll either be in more of an E or an I, depending on like what's the mood that day, I think, or like my mindset when I approach the tests. So yeah, that's like what an ambivert is. And I think, at least for myself, I manage a lot of my anxiety by focusing more on the present and the task at hand, because I am a person who tends to get in my own head, and I think in the past I really would like replay a lot of like the mistakes or get hung up about things that I couldn't change anymore. And of course that's how you start spiraling, because it's not even something that you can actually influence anymore, and you have to like move on. And then also sometimes I get really stressed out about the future, because that's also something I can't control, and would also spiral, be like, oh my god, what if like the whole what if scenarios would keep me up at night and give me really bad insomnia. And with bad insomnia, it bleeds into like everything for like concentration, focus. So like it made me really struggle in school in a lot of ways, not only like socially but also like academically, I guess, because I couldn't focus. Like sometimes I wouldn't catch what people are saying around me anymore because I'm like stressed, or like I'm sleepy, so I would miss a lot of like what's going on around me. So I guess like nowadays I just like focus on the present and try to do as much as I personally can,
Right.
and try not to stress about too much about like how I'm socially perceived. It's definitely a process. Like we're getting there though.
Yeah. For sure, I'm hearing a lot of social expectations, our own expectations, expectations of family. Those are for sure like a lot of big things that, you know, you just don't see around our communities, but overall like in student bodies and even our population here, especially with a lot of our students being first gen, or, you know, their parents went to school, so that's kind of the expected thing. So again, just trying to find that retention, that success, because we are expected of, and that honestly kind of bleeding into a lot of these factors that affect as to why we get anxious. But one thing that we do want to touch upon, since it is final season coming up, as by the time this episode comes along, but you know, just the anxiety of finals. I know for a lot of us, we want to get the best grade possible. And sometimes the only grade acceptable for us is an A. Um, Again, just that pressure to accomplish and just, you know, exceed to these external expectations, whether that's proving something to ourselves or our families. I know me as a first gen student of color, very much a lot of heavy expectations on myself. Um, and, you know, just trying to navigate and give myself more of that grace, just because, at least for me, I tend to get very anxious about, am I doing the best for my family? Am I doing the best to myself? Am I proving anything to myself? Am I really, you know, adhering to those standards that I have? And sometimes those standards are a little, you know, unrealistic, but again, it just, a lot of build up from that leads into a lot of the academic anxiety that I get.
I can definitely relate to that. I know for myself, I am also a first generation student. And it's definitely been something that I've like been hard on myself. It's not even like my parents' expectation at this point. It's definitely my own expectation, because I've had the conversation with my parents and they're like, dude, if you can't do it, it's okay. But I'm like, no, I can do this. I want to do this. But then I'm just there crying to my mom about, I can't do this anymore. And she's like, I told you already, just drop it. And I'm like, no. So it's definitely like, you know, my own expectation of like myself as to like what I can do, what I can accomplish. I mean, I have the opportunity to accomplish so much, so I want to be able to do the most that I can. But it's also important to realize when you can't do it. And I wanted to applaud Keona also for the fact that you had to drop a class, because I know I did that too. Like, it was just so much. So it's really important to recognize those things that, like, okay, this is too much for me. This is the thing that is giving me so much anxiety. So I'm going to drop it. Like, it might not, you know, be like maybe the best thing in the moment, or I don't know, but I think in the long run, after dropping this class, I've been a little more okay with myself and,
That's
you know,
good.
trying to do more for myself instead of like academic wise. But yeah.
I guess for anxiety of finals, for myself, it's more of the timeline that's stressing me out for a lot of classes. Because I guess when I registered for classes, I took a mixture of late start classes as well as just like regular like 16-week courses. So the pacing for all four of my classes is different. And I guess also the mediums of what like the final consists of is different for each class. Like, or like final projects across classes are a little different, and because I'm mostly online, everything overlaps. So it's pretty rough for me, like scheduling wise, because most of my classes, or like keeping up with, like, I have to really manage my schedule really well, because when it comes to online finals, I guess they're spaced out a little differently, and like if I don't grasp the timings quite right, then I'm gonna be the one that's missing out on points. I think like I missed an extra credit opportunity for like my final, like for a practice final, and that was like 30 free points that I could have capitalized on, and also gotten like a good look at like the possible question pool as well. So I missed out on that because like the schedule for like said finals week is very different, and it just hit me. I was like, dang, this week is finals week for one of my classes. While everybody's like, wait, what, you're taking finals now? I'm like, apparently, because it's an 8-week class. And so I guess for me, it's like I get stressed or anxiety over some of like the avoidable things that if I planned better, I could have like managed. But it's also like a good reminder just to, like, after you make a mistake, especially when we only have so much limited time during final season, try not to think about it and just think about like strategies to do the best you can with like your current circumstances, because you can't change said mistake anymore. Like right now it's like I can't do anything, points are gone, or like that opportunity is gone. I need to focus on the next one, and the next one would be like doing the rest of the other like extra credit, or like review, using the rest of the review material the best I can.
And then how do I
Yeah, I like to say that a lot of that stuff, you know, just that whole anxiety of trying to do well or in your exams, a lot of it is also rooted in the fact that, you know, we are transferring, or again, just that whole transfer of responsibilities where we're just like, oh, we want to do our best because, again, we're anxious about which school we want to get into, or what school we want to do, or, you know, what career we want to, like, pursue. And again, you know, exams lead to transferring leads to careers leads to a whole lot of other things. But you know, I at least, you know, I want to give everyone else a little space to talk about that. You know, maybe like with transfer season also coming to a very soon close. So how are we feeling about that?
I'm stressed out. Like, I still haven't finished my UC essays yet, and I still don't know what school I want to go to either. So it's just like, it's just really difficult trying to figure out, like, is this the right school for me? Is this the perfect fit? Because, like, it's kind of like hard transferring out of a community college to a university because it's just a different atmosphere. And it's like the classes were different, the people were different, the whole environment's different.
That level of unfamiliarity.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just scary too because I'm like so used to Aloni now. So it's like now I'm leaving, so it's kind of bittersweet. Like I gotten used to like the people here and the professors, so it's like I don't know what's the next step, but also I'm also really excited too because like this is a new chapter. Like I'm like one step closer to getting my like bachelor's degree, so it's like it's exciting but also like scary at the same time.
Yeah. I guess for myself, there is definitely a lot of anxiety tied to like transferring. Like Anya said, I guess for myself, because I also don't really have like a clear image of what I want from the university I want to transfer to, I guess. It's also a little stressful for me because I know that business is just like a really competitive major. So for myself, I don't think I stand out super strong grades wise. So I've been like really focusing. I need to really capitalize on my whole essays, so they have to be good if I want to be like competitive. So that is pretty stressful, and the fact that I haven't been able to start on them yet is like, uh-oh. But
The fear of standing out, huh?
yeah, I mean, it's also the fact that like I've had, I guess you could say, 5.5 years to research which college I want to go to now. Like since high school, I haven't had a clear mind about like what exactly it is that I want to do, because I guess the fields that I was usually looking at would always be really broad too. So people would suggest go backwards from the profession, or profession that you'd like to study, and I'm like, I have no idea, guys. So it's definitely that, and some of like the good universities are off at the East Coast, so there's like a lot of worry about like, what if I get into one of these amazing colleges, and then when I get to that point, I have to debate, like, because I have no idea what living on the East Coast would be like, and I wouldn't have like support systems there. There's like a lot of worries about leaving everything that I've known in like the Bay Area if I go to a college outside the Bay Area. Like even LA, which isn't too far away and it's still like possible to come back. I'm like, what could happen? Like anything could happen. So definitely a lot of stress and worries about that.
Mm-hmm. I guess from my experience, like the anxiety I'm having is just like turning in the like questions like before the deadline while also trying to balance like passing these classes, because I think I'm like stressing a lot about like my GPA and like dropping these classes and everything like that. Like I like having a lot of anxiety like that, and like if I'm even gonna be accepted, and like and then I have to like wait another year, and like I guess like also like what Jacqueline and Anya was saying about like a change of like environment. Like I got really comfortable here at Aloni, like with the friends I've met through like Step Up, and then like just classes and the connections I've built. But I'm trying to turn the anxiety into like excitement, and like I get to like experience like independence and everything like that. But I also like I'm stressing a lot and having a lot of anxiety about like writing about myself, because I like having to like pretty much like sell yourself through like a short essay is just like what do you mean, like they're like looking at like that and everything. Yeah,
I definitely agree too, because like you have to strike the fine line of like balance of selling yourself, being genuine, and also just like finding the balance where it's like a story.
You'll come off egotistical or
right.
too braggy. Yeah.
You just have to strike a balance, and it's also, I guess, for some people it might also be like the stress of showing other people your essays when you don't think it's quite up to par, but you need the feedback so that it's nice. And like figuring out like who to get help from when you're working on those essays is definitely difficult too.
Do you want to move on, or?
We can still talk about transfer though.
Okay, sure. I know for myself, I'm kind of in the same boat as Jacqueline. I mean, I still don't know where I want to go. I haven't started anything at all, actually. Like, it's the part where, like, I didn't even know I was going to college until, like, a month or two before the, like, semester started.
Damn.
So it was kind of like last minute, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna commit to the bit. And I was like, okay, I'm going for it. And now I'm like here, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to transfer. Do I want to transfer? Like, do I want to take a gap semester because I don't feel ready to transfer? But at the same time, it's like I kind of went really hard on getting my classes done. It's like ever since like fall semester started, I've been taking like almost 18 credits every semester.
Oh my gosh.
I took cyber session, I took summer term.
Yeah.
I've been going like all the way. So I'm like basically done. Like spring semester, I'm done. And so I'm like, okay, so it wouldn't really benefit me if I were to stay like another year. But at the same time, like, am I ready for it? And I think that's what's making me kind of stressed out. Because I know for myself, like, financially, it's just been me for school. So, like, that's another aspect of, like, why I might want to take either a year or, like, a semester gap. Because I just want to, like, try to save up as much as I can. As well as, like, I know I want to go to a certain campus, but it's like, oh, well, that campus doesn't have the best for what I want to do. Or, like, I want to stay somewhat local, but also not too close, you know? Like, things like that, that I'm kind of just like, there's so much to think about. And, like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah.
At least for me, like, I'm definitely getting the sense of the anxiety of overall opportunities, or even sometimes our paths just taking different routes. Because I know for me, it's a third year. Like, I was super anxious about staying here at third year. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna throw me off. Next thing you know, I'm gonna be here for 4 years and I'm a super senior or something like that. But you know, I think it's just, I forgot who mentioned it, but it's just trying to embrace it and switch that narrative and put more of a positive or even optimistic spin on it. You know, I think that's like one way that it definitely helped me when I was like, realized I was going to be here for 3 years, just thinking of it positively. Like, I'm going to be surrounded by community a bit longer. I have the opportunity to build myself up more, you know, despite this might be a different path than I imagined for myself. And it for sure was scary because I didn't know what's in store. But had I known, you know, being a part of Step Up and also just being part of so many other groups on campus and having that interconnectedness, I'd have been like, okay, this is a lot better than what I imagined in my head.
Yeah. We also just really want to remind all of our listeners that no matter like what happens during this transfer period, like it's not gonna define you forever, and it will pass. And oftentimes, maybe staying an extra year at Aloni could bring you like new opportunities that you could have never expected. That might be like even more valuable than say transferring into like said university of your dreams. And oftentimes you can build up that experience so that you'll be maybe a step up or a step ahead of some other peers of the same age group. Because I feel like going to CC or not like being at community college rather than like transferring right away, I've been able to really grow as a person skill wise, and also just like push myself more because we have so many great support systems here, and like the community campus really cares about its students. So I've been able to get like extra support across the board from all of our different groups and organizations, be it like the college and career center, the tutoring centers. Like everybody is it's like really interpersonal here on a community campus. So just know that like don't worry about like FOMO or like the fear of missing out, because ultimately in the end we'll all like reach our own successes, and it's just a matter of time. So don't
There is no
stress
set
about it.
path. There is no one path or one glove fits all for everyone. You're your own person.
Yeah. And like for different people, and because you're like all of your goals are different, like different paths or pacing, it will end up being different from others just because everybody's different and everybody's a unique individual. Like for myself, I might be here for say 4 years because I switched majors after like finishing my business AA. I might end up doing something else at the end of the day, so I might be here for 4 years. I don't know how I feel about that, but, you know, it's like coming to terms with it, and so that we can, like, continue pursuing whatever we're pursuing.
Yeah. I like how you said coming to terms with it, because it's true. It's like, sure, you might have started somewhere and then it ended somewhere completely different, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're, like, getting it done, or, like, you feel accomplished at the end, or, like, you're happy with what you accomplished.
And funny enough, coming to terms with some things sometimes is also a form of navigating and managing anxiety. I know everyone was kind of briefly already touching about that, you know, how they like to manage it, or what things that work for them, or skills. If someone wouldn't mind reading some of the tips that are provided from the Mayo Clinic Health System page on how to manage anxiety.
One of the things is okay. One of the things is to, like, handle anxiety is by taking a break. And I think I want to emphasize on that, actually. Like, taking a break is so important, because sometimes your brain just gets so fried and you're just, like, dead at the end. So taking a break is definitely, like, at least, like, 5-10 minutes of just, okay,
Recollecting yourself.
you know, yeah, you know, going to the bathroom, drinking some water, eating a light snack or something, just
getting some
in between.
air.
Yeah, like,
sunlight.
take a break. As well as
Sometimes break from coffee.
does
also.
that say quitting?
Yeah, quitting or taking a break
okay.
from caffeinated drinks. I know a lot of us love our Red Bull and coffee, and all these things are high in that. But studies have also shown that tends to lead to a lot of more anxiety, as it is, like, pumping a lot of, like, energy into our minds, into our hearts, and anxiety is also linked with a lot of stressors that lead to, like, high heart rates, or high heart rates are a result of really bad anxiety. So that can also lead to, like, one of those things. So maybe taking like a break, or substituting that caffeine, especially during finals when we are staying up very, very late hours, you know, trying to find a nice little substitute for that.
I will say yes, because this morning I chugged some coffee and then I was studying, and as I was writing I was like because I was, like, already feeling anxious to like try and get as much information in, plus the, like, caffeine just hitting me. I was tweaking. Yeah. I was like but yeah, as well as
Exercise.
yeah, exercise.
Or even just, like, any body movements.
Yeah, like, it doesn't have to be, like, full-blown exercise, like, even just getting up for 5 minutes, doing some stretches, or maybe, like, some, like, easy to do, like, exercises, like, say, jumping jacks or jumping rope for, like, 5 minutes. Like, it doesn't even take that much, as long as you get, like, your blood circulation pumping, because oftentimes when you're studying, you sit for, like, really long periods of time in one place. Like, getting that blood circulation going helps you to get, like, more oxygen, and, like, it also, like, helps you release certain, like,
Neurochemicals? I think so.
Right? Yes. Neurochemicals, like endorphins and stuff, it'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
It'll help you, like, release some of that tension that we talked about that can come up when you're, like, anxious or stressed. Like, oftentimes, at least for myself, I store up most of my stress physically, is what I've heard. So, like, for me, I get really stiff, or I get, like, really, really tense. So, like, doing some exercising, getting up, or, like, taking a break, taking a little walk, it's really beneficial for you. And in general, I think most of the tips are to, like, take a step back to take care of yourself, so you could take 2 steps forward in whatever activity you're doing.
Yeah. And I think it's also important to, like, say, like, by exercising, we don't mean, like, go to the gym
every single
or,
day.
like, you know, no, you don't have to be a gym bro. You can literally just, like, do some yoga or something, like, in your living room. Just, like, a light stretch to, you know, just chill for a little bit. Yeah.
And like a way to navigate your anxiety is, like, I guess targeting, like, or like acknowledging like the triggers, I guess for me, like I don't know. My triggers is just like socializing, but I'm like doing that right now. I don't know. I guess like experience therapy, I guess. Exposure therapy, that's it.
Yeah.
But like I guess just like I don't know. I think for me, like a trigger is just like mine is like the cause of my anxiety is like very like family like cause, but just knowing like for like it's anxiety cause for like pressures and like that. But I guess like changing like my perspective of like yes they're having like very like high standards on me, but like knowing like they want the best for me and like having I guess that switch of like perspective and also just like I don't know. I guess so. I kind of don't know where I was going with that.
No, it's okay. But I also, again, a lot of those things are based on like situations or the influence of situations, past traumas, maybe actions that we had in other schools. And, again, just identifying those things. I know for me, sometimes I get anxiety when people are shouting or yelling just because that was a big thing in my household. And I did not like that at all. Or, people addressing me and being like, Jonathan, we gotta have a talk. And I'm like, what's going on? It's
like, what did I do?
Yeah, what did I do? What happened? Anyone else want to add on to that? Maybe like triggers? Just one quick trigger.
I guess for myself, I get really easily triggered by, I guess, really big groups. Like, I prefer, like, more smaller or more intimate groups. So, like, I know that I can often get stressed during, like, really big social events. And I guess, like, having a couple of people that I know I can trust around me helps to, like, tone it down. Or just, like, also, like, taking breaks or stepping out sometimes when I do get overwhelmed and recognizing that, oh, it's happening. And maybe like giving myself some space. And for myself at least, having that extra caffeine sometimes can just like throw me into overdrive. So like I try to reduce caffeine when I know that I'm like maybe going into like social situations where I could get like more stressed than usual.
I think for me it would be like, apart from the yelling, maybe like if I have a friend not talk to me throughout the day that I'm like normally like very like
engaged with,
yappy with, and I'm like, did I do something? What did I do? I'm that person, unfortunately. But yeah.
What about you, Anya? Anything you'd like to add on?
I guess I get a lot of anxiety. Like I try to avoid conflict. Like, I'm not a good person with conflict, so I get, like, really anxious if, like, something's, like, going on, like, within my friend group or something, and it's, like, yeah, that's something that triggers me a lot.
Yeah, but I think that's also one step into the healing process, or just acknowledging or trying to, grow from navigating that anxiety, is the fact that I'm glad you were able to recognize, Jacqueline, like there are people in your life, or whether that's like support systems that can help us just calm down, whether that's exercise, taking a break, getting some air, whatever it may be. And hopefully y'all can also identify maybe some of your triggers or even things that help you navigate your anxiety. We are going to wrap up as it is almost time. But again, we want to promote our services here at Aloni. We have our mental health services that are free, that were paid through the tuition, counselors who are fluent in ASL, private schedules, confidential, our student wellness counselors. We actually have 2 of them here right now. Three of them, sorry. I keep on reading who's part of the team. Very awesome people, Anya, Dinah, and Keona. So if y'all want to check them out, their hours should be up right now, especially if you want to rant about your midterms or your finals. And then
we can cry together.
We can cry together. Yeah.
Deanne, our other student wellness counselor, would also be very happy to host you. Come and drop by their drop-in hours, guys.
Yeah. And there are meditation rooms if you want to take a break as well. But for sure, thank you all for listening to us yap a little bit about anxieties. Wishing y'all the best of luck with finals, and may y'all have a great winter break. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.